Alright. Welcome to Star Enlightenment channel. We in for another good banger today, another good video, another good informational video. You can tell by the title of the live, this video is gonna be about spirituality and oversouls. So we're gonna get right into it. I was gonna wait for some people to come in, but I don't really have the time to hurry up. But so the first thing first is what is an oversoul, right? What is an oversoul? So when we talk about what is an oversoul, I broke this down in other videos. An oversoul is you can either say a spirit, a being, or whatever soul or entity or being or whatever that is over a region, over any area, location, space, place, area, or region, or thing. Even if it's like a company, that's a certain oversoul of that company, aka the first person to have a thought to create that was the first person that what you would consider the oversoul. Like me pass away now, right? They would be considered as the oversoul, and when they pass away, they're gonna actually be in the spirit as the oversoul over that. Now, whether they choose to keep it up, we'll let you know if the business goes, um, continues to go, or if they end up getting taken over, um, because either somebody else's mental concept was strong enough to take them over, aka that thought form was strong enough to take them over, or whatever, or they just stopped doing it themselves because they lost the desire to have it or to carry out it anymore, and they was pleased with it, it was done. Either way, that'll be when it be finished. But like let's say like IKEA, whoever was the first person to have the idea of IKEA. Yeah, they made it carried out through different people. But the first person to have that idea to actually bring it into existence, to start to create it and plan it and all that stuff like that physically, that would be like the oversoul or whatever of IKEA. And if they still alive or if they did, it don't really matter. They're the oversoul of that thing. Now, from a spiritual perspective, let's talk about people who don't die, right? These are the oversouls who are over like areas, regions, and companies who they might have be the first person to create them, or either the first person in that space or the first person to create it if it's like a company or a business or stuff like that or whatever like that. But they may be passed away, right? And these are like what you consider like fourth dimensional beings, spirits who reign over this particular area, or this particular thing, or whatever it's got going on. You know what I'm saying? See, when people talk about stuff with stories and different spiritual, it's truth to everything, but you got to be able to decipher and understand what's actually going on so that you don't get lost, that you don't get lost in the sauce. You see what I'm saying? Lost in the sauce. The sauce. Sauce, man. I was lost in the sauce. Alright, man. But anyway, moving on, let's give some examples, right? So, so like for instance, right, let's say use Africa and Asia, because this is one that I had written down to use. So when we look at Africa and Asia, these are continents. So these are big oversouls. At least in this space, these are big oversouls, aka big fourth dimensional beings, aka they're bigger spirits. They take over a large portion of mass on this earth. So the the spirit of Africa would be the first person, like the first person who was ever in Africa, or the first person to ever come up with the concept of Africa. One of those. Because sometimes it could be the first spirit, like one of the first people that was there, that touched Africa first, but it could have also been a group of spirits. You see what I'm saying? So it could play out in different ways, but they all could be united because they all could have been one. You see what I'm saying? But either the first person to come up with the concept of Africa or the first person that was in that space in general, that location in general, um, would be an example of uh, what was I gonna say? The like oversoul of Africa. Now, here's the thing: Africa has different parts. You see what I'm saying? Just like our body, we got different parts. We got different spirits and beings that are have that like your arm and the chakra in the house astrological house that would deal with. That house may be governed by a particular sign. That sign may have a fixed star that's attached to it, aka there's another star system or whatever that deals with that. Or maybe it may not be a fixed star system. It may be right from here. Your body parts may be right from here, but the entities inside you, the blood cells and that area in general, is controlled by a different area. It's not you may not be the main influence in that house. You see what I'm saying? It may be controlled by other things. So that's how that can play out. But just moving on, let's not get too far because that's getting into kind of like a whole other video. I'm gonna be honest with you. But back to what I said about Africa. So Africa got many different states, countries, in it, right? But it's one big large continent. It's an overall continent. Same thing with Asia. Asia is a huge. That's the biggest one. Asia is like a huge overall continent. That's a huge oversoul. But they're split also into many different countries, smaller and larger, and there's also many different parts of those countries, many different states and cities in those countries. These are being examples of oversouls. So each person that was in this space first, or that at least came up with that concept first, though, first, will be a situation of of the oversoul or spirit that's basically over the authority of that area because they was the first person to have the mental concept of it. And when you talk about fourth dimensional energies and oversoul, that is fourth dimensional energy. Your ability to analyze and think that thought, your to be a thought. Thoughts are not yours. We all receive and push out. We do push out thoughts, but like you say, you don't push out. Your thought is not really yours until you catch a thought. You receive first, and this is in reality. We receive first. It's feminine. We receive, and anytime, this is how you get the concept of radios and changing and tuning in the stations. But your thoughts are not really yours until you catch a thought, and then you start to think about that thought and add stuff to it, and then that's how you create a thought. That's like just like how you have people that can create, their artists. That's their own art because they had the idea, they caught the idea and the imagination of it, and that necessarily wasn't necessarily theirs per se, but their frequencies on there to be aware of whatever realm that they had on their mind to paint down, and then they started to add their own imagination to it. You see what I'm saying? And then once you start to add your own imagination to this, once you start to add to something, that becomes your own thought. So like that's like say I think about man, what kind of cheeseburger I want, and I think of a cheeseburger in my head, and it's got cheeseburger, got pickles on it, stuff like that. Once I catch that thought, I don't had that thought. So all the beings that was resonating with the thought of cheeseburgers and on the frequency of cheeseburgers, we bounced off thought, and the one that was resonating close to the state of being that I'm in, I picked up that one, right? But once I caught that thought and I started to add to it, yeah, but I want my bread to have a little sweetness to it. I want a little a sweetened bread. I want extra pickles on mine. I want mayo added to it, ketchup. Now I'm starting to push off my own thought, and so once I'm finished with that, and I completely have okay, I want mustard cheese on it, and this is how I want my cheeseburger. That was my thought. That still we all share and bounce off thoughts. We all telepathies and stuff like that. But that would be like my thought and stuff like that because I actually pushed that out. I started adding to it and creating. See, that's what I'm saying. You're just not your own thought. You're receiving thoughts. When you start pushing and creating and adding to that, that's you pushing off a thought. That creation energy. You see what I'm saying? But anyway, I ain't gonna lie. I don't know why I started getting into that. What led me to talk about thoughts not ours? I forgot. Oh yeah. Anyway, I want to talk about fourth dimensional and oversouls and all that stuff and ghosts and spirits and all that stuff. But yeah, that's how that plays out. So like even like saying India. India is one country in Asia. So whatever the first person that was over India or the first had the or had the first thought of India itself, they would be the oversoul. Not a different like Madurai, Chennai, Mumbai. Is Bangalore? I think Bangalore, India. I could be wrong. I think it is. These are big cities, but these are individual cities. These are smaller versions of oversouls that was over this. You see what I'm saying? And the people that done came up with these done died a while ago, done passed away. But they would be the oversoul of these areas. Now, I'm trying to think. It could be two different ways because there's the Masonic oversoul of it, and then there's the actual oversoul as far as who was the first person on that land. But then again, I just thought about it. 9, 9, 10, it might be something more so Masonic. Because for you to give a name and title to something, that's fourth dimensional energy in the first place. So for me to say this is Madurai, it could play out as one of the first. Nah, it actually couldn't play out that because the first person who would have been the Madurai wouldn't be calling it Madurai. And it wouldn't been just that one space. It would have been that whole land that they was traveling on. You see what I'm saying? It would have been that whole land in general if you was the first person that was in. If you was the first group of people that was in Madeira and you was one of them, you would have been in a situation where you lived way back before it was even years back before it was even thought to be called Madeira. Right? I think it's how you call that city. You would have been living way before they even thought to call it Madeira. Years and years, probably 100 or so years before it's called Madeira, and you would have been already walking around that area. So for a person to come after the fact and call them Madeira, I'm not saying that that person that brought there first didn't have an influence, but they probably would play out as like a bigger oversoul. They probably older in the spirit, and so the Masonic person who came afterwards and named it Madeira, that seemed more like they played the head because they ruled that location now. They added a title to it. They built it up. You see what I'm saying? It's levels within levels of stuff because that's why I say there's always spirits within spirits. All these different cities, even the mini cities, are examples of oversouls or you know a person that was the first person to come up with that name for that city and the thought of that city and the idea of that city, how they want to carry out that city, no matter how big or small. So that would be considered the oversoul or the intellectual property or authority over that particular area. Now, how lost and attached that they are to it, that plays out in many different ways. But 9 times 10, if you resonated with this, or you and Miss Sonia, you ain't really going nowhere for the most part because you resonate with this. You trying to keep reincarnating to uphold this system. You ain't really trying to go nowhere else. Why? This your home here. Why would I be trying to go somewhere else? You see what I'm saying? Now, if they were smart with it, they would expand on it, and somehow they would either try to do two things. You would either try to expand on what you already got here as much as you can and make it a huge, either a huge utopia or a huge mega world, meta world, whatever you want to do. It don't matter good or bad. You would just expand on that as much as you can. Shout out to Mr. Commissioner, man. Good to see you. Or you'll be in a situation where you might want to ascend, or you might want to go to a lighter realm of reality, a higher dimensional awareness, but you would still be in this space. You wouldn't go outside of this space. The when Earth got birthed out of the spirit, the part of the spirit realm of the astral realm that Earth was in before it got birthed out and it manifested physically in the Earth, you would just go back to that space. You see what I'm saying? Because that space is already built up mentally with its concepts and structures. How you think you get these physical stuff down here now that people got? The people call ideas and thoughts. These things are internal. They caught this stuff from that realm in the first place. So I mean, I'm kind of going on in a tangent about what I'm not really here to really talk about. So let me get back to what I'm talking about. But that's also kind of important to know. It's not as deep though. It's not that deep. They're just trying to find good ways to like give examples. But getting back to what we were saying, right? So that's how Africa and Asia play out. And I'm just giving an example. But another thing is, check it out. The people. Hold on, where is it? I'm trying to look for. Hold on. Yeah, the people who live in these areas, like for instance, like I said, Oversouls. So let's say Africa or Asia, or whatever, right? Russia, whatever you want to call it, America, whatever. The people and what they do in these areas dictate what that original Oversoul was doing are made are how do I say this? Because it's kind of like you got cells and beings within you, and you would be like the god of your little universe or transverse solar system, or little world. So how you do things is usually how your cells do things. For instance, if you like a real excited, giddy person, you always energetic. Even if you low on energy, you gonna find something to do because that's just how your spirit like to. That's what make your spirit feel comfortable, and that's what you naturally resonate with. Then that means your blood cells do the same thing, and that's why they say like your mind kind of bend into the blood to an extent because a lot of people don't understand that concept. That's like your blood cells gonna copy kind of what you do. Like whatever you state of being that you in and what you do, what you like to do, you got to be careful. That's why it's important to sometimes change up your habits, or even if it's not changing enough, make sure that you already doing good habits, so that you can just add on to those and continue doing those good ones that can keep you in good nature and in good spaces internally and be helpful to you in your body physically and mentally. Because a lot of times your blood cells are doing the same thing you. So if you sit around on your ASS all day, you don't really get up and do nothing. Your blood will start to become stagnant, and you thinking it's because like like I'm not moving physically. Yes, there's a science to moving your physical body and all that stuff too. That stuff does work because you are literally moving fluids, forcing these cells to move to an extent. That is true. That is true because that's a form of chi movement. That is true. But from a primal, not primal, from a very but from the source of it, you got to understand it's like there's a starting point to this because that's why you could do a little workout and stuff like that one time. That ain't gonna make your blood flow the best blood flow you ever need in the world. That ain't gonna make your cardiovascular system perfect, well strengthened, top tier. No, that means consistency. So if your body's not used to doing something, yeah, you stretching or doing stuff is gonna help your blood move for that moment. But your blood cells are still used to doing what you always do. Sit around. You ain't built enough pattern, enough habit of doing something different for your blood cells, aka your body to be used to you doing something. We always use words like, "Oh, your body doing this, train the body." No, it's really life within you that's actually doing the same thing that you doing. So if I don't care how it is, if you a dummy, that's how your blood cells play out. If you're a person you like to seek knowledge, you're gonna keep manifesting knowledge because your blood cells doing the same thing. You're gonna have thoughts and ideas, feelings. You're gonna be a certain state of beings that's gonna lead you to manifest you finding more knowledge. Because that's just truly who you are anyway. So you gonna do that regardless. I ain't even gonna try to put that on nothing externally or internally. That's because that's you regardless. Period. But you just not understand how this stuff plays out physically and metaphysically, or at least understand how it bends in physically from a metaphysical point of view. Because that's like this is why certain people naturally lack more minerals and vitamins than another person. Like in the subconscious community in some of those videos, how they always tell us, oh, we create all the elements, we create all the minerals. That is very true to an extent, but a lot of people don't know why. And what they say is due to certain exercises that you may not do. And we're not saying exercise as far as just running and weightlifting. That's just a piece. That's just a certain mineral and iron that you build with blood flow and circulation through doing cardio and doing exercise and weightlifting. There's other things like you said, like deep breathing. If you don't certain people don't breathe deep enough, And that actually, there's certain absorptions and oxygens and H2Os and carcinogens and all that stuff like that that you don't develop just by you not breathing properly. And so, if you're not, and it may not be your fault. You may be in a situation where you may naturally breathe more shallower. But so you need to be in a situation where you find a little bit of time of your day to just do a little bit of deep breathing. You ain't got to overboard with it. You can gradually build yourself on the process. Ain't nothing to stress yourself out of, but understanding that. And that, what else? Another one. That's like, it's like it's certain stretches. It's certain stretches. Like, that's why yoga is so important. Or just stretching in general, just regular baseline stretching. It's certain stretches that when you don't stretch, it's certain minerals that your blood don't form a certain way for you to bend in certain minerals as much. But really, like you say, we make all this stuff, but you may not be doing the right habits that you do to for your body to maintain these things, cultivate these things, and grow these things, or build these things on its own. Even though we technically already do build these things, but you may feel like you're not building enough because you're not utilizing the stuff that your body naturally do in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Due to you being lazy or having a bad habit lifestyle. Let me read some of your comments. Hey, damn. So to get out of this reality and to become an oversoul, you got to be a world impactful spirit, though, man. Spirit. Qigong, yoga, oh my, cure all that breathing sickness. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm glad you said that. Qigong is that's a very powerful one too, because Qigong go a little bit deeper sometimes than even just blood circulation with stretching, yoga, and exercising too. Those are really good too. Ain't no buts about it. I'm just saying Qigong is like it hits a certain level of lymphatic fluid, certain blood plasmas. Like that's the clear fluid before it turn into blood. Because a lot of y'all don't know, you don't just blood ain't just blood first. Like when they be saying like, oh, you pumping blood. Hold on, my phone effing up. I think I'm back. Okay, yeah. When they be saying like, oh, you pumping blood, or like your heart gotta make new blood, your blood flow not good because your heart not pumping enough blood, making new blood. Really, you gotta understand these things start off as plasma first. Like when they say the waters and imagination being your waters and emotions and feelings represent the water, like this come from a real place. You really are bending it. This how you create tears. Because when you create tears is that fluid when it first got created. Like if you really know what's going on for these things to condense like that and for you to even have a tear, that's not just coming out of nowhere. This your body ain't just holding water like in one pocket as clear fluid like that necessarily. I mean, I'm not saying it can't, because I ain't no mad scientist. I ain't no Einstein when it come to everything. But I would believe it's more so of an extraction. There's water in your blood because all water is H2O. So there's H2O in your blood. A matter of fact, having poor blood circulation is part of the reason why some people get dehydrated faster. Because what you don't realize is you think it's the physical clear water that you need. No, that's you needing that because you lack something internally in the first place. Now, yeah, we all need water, bro. But I'm saying like your body for you to be dehydrated faster than another person, that means if water is H2O, hydrogen and oxygen, that means your blood naturally produces a certain level of hydrogen. Your blood definitely produces a certain level of oxygen because oxygen will be flowing throughout your body for you to be able to breathe and absorb oxygen if it wasn't flowing through the blood. That's how minerals and nutrients get transported through the blood flows. That's another thing. This is why some people, when they take supplements, don't experience results fast enough as another person, because everything really got to do with your circulation and blood flow. Because your blood is the very thing that is the delivery transportation for all your cells, nutrients, minerals, vitamins, minerals, all that stuff in the first place. So if you got bad blood flow, this is why your recovery is gonna be ass. You're gonna be trash at recovery. If you work out hard, you're gonna be wondering why your homeboys and all that stuff recover faster than you. Why your girl, nah, I ain't gonna lie, that if your girl recover faster, that's crazy. But yeah, that's fact. Cause like you can remember why your girl recover faster than you, why your dad recovered faster than you, why everybody around you recover faster than you, your muscles still sore 5 days later. That means you got blast circulation. Now there could be other underlying issues though too. Don't get it twisted. For the most part, everything kind of come back to the blood. Cause without good blood flow, blood like the first, like when they be talking about the root chakras and stuff and all them chakras, they do be getting us flunked out sometimes with different stuff because they want us to put that narrative and get our attention in the way in the direction that they want us to put that attention towards when it comes to chakras, and they want us to look at it how they want us to look at it for whatever direction they want it to be in, for their growth and benefit. But at the same time, it's like some of the stuff really is true though. Like some of the basis of life do be like blood, at least physically, because this stuff been in from the spiritual anyway. So I ain't gonna say like in all existence, but at least physically, a lot of the times it do. Because without having good blood flow, you ain't gonna really have no green energy. AKA, you're not gonna have no good health and minerals and vitamins and nutrient energy. Because ain't nothing to transport that through your body for your body to be well fed with nutrients in the first place. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, blood like first. Blood is important. Blood important. That's why Qigong too, cause like I said, yoga, Qigong, all these things that transmute energy, all this stuff deal with blood flow. That's what I was telling homeboy the other day. And I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna hurry up and finish because my phone's starting to get hot again. But I told homeboy the other day, I say anytime, cause he was talking about sexual transmutation, right? He was having a hard time transmuting sexual energy. And I said, he was saying like, oh, I done tried to do stretching and this and the third, but this ain't did this and this and that. And I say, look, I'm not telling you exact exercise you need to do. Everybody is different for everybody. It may be deep breathing for you, stretching, actual exercise and cardio and running and lifting weights. It may be massaging, all these things, anything. But if you talk about I told him, you talk about any type of form of transmitting energy, you're gonna have to give some credit to blood flow because there's no blood flow is like chi itself. So if you're anything that's trying to transmute energy, you have to be moving your blood. Cause that's like the first layer of chi itself. If your blood not even flowing, I don't care what you think you're doing, trying to put your mind in a new space, thinking that you're gonna curb this urge sexually and so. No, you better stop. Just like I said with your blood cells just that you gonna keep stuff trapped in one area. So all the energy gonna be in one area. You're not gonna let that energy be able to transmute throughout your body for you to having that desire for something else. The reason why you have so much, I told him you have so much pent up sexual energy sometimes, is not that that's bad. That's good. You need to have energy in the chakra, but that means you got it built up in the chakra and it's not flowing. It wouldn't matter if you had more energy than you did now, as long as it was flowing. That means it's all still transmitting. Just think of an empty cup. You pouring this cup out and you pouring it to another vase, another vase, another vase. You constantly creating a flow of energy. But if you just pour it into one cup, that cup won't overfill. So it's the same thing we talk about your sexual urges, stuff like that. Yeah, that energy got to be flowing. And I told him, I said, I don't hear nothing about no, oh, this ain't working, this, because anytime we talk about anything dealing with transportation, blood is needed. So ain't no, oh, this blood ain't work. That means you either ain't doing, you ain't, that means you either ain't letting your blood flow enough, aka you ain't letting your blood circulate enough, and you ain't doing it as often as you need to, or you're not doing as many exercises to circulate your blood that you need to. One of those, but it's something amongst that. There's many different things you could do to get that energy flowing. But moving back to what we were saying, because I kind of got time today, bro. So that's why I'm kind of like ranting. But in and out, yeah. So basically, like any territory you see or area, or like you say, the Oversouls of Africa, whatever like that. All the things that the beings in Africa do in totality is the way that being did things to expand to its level. You see what I'm saying? Because there was always space within space. So it's like this: when you see Asia, check it out. When you see Asia, right, and you see all the where everything consists of Asia. China, you got kung fu, you got Buddhism, meditation, you got Japanese or what they did with this with all that stuff. You got India is also part of Asia with the Hinduism and the meditation as well with the yogas and stuff. And then you got the like I said the Asian Chinas with the the qigong and the qigong and the tai chi. So over Asia in general, that intellectual property of Asia, the first person of Asia, that oversoul, that spirit of Asia, it did all these things to expand to how big it was. So you better believe I don't care. Don't let nobody lie to you. Because even when they say, oh, but Mason did this, Mason did that. But a lot of the stuff is Masonic. And it don't make it bad. It's just that means either that Masonic, either he could have stolen knowledge, aka, or it could have just straight up just really learned knowledge and like was a philosopher and learned knowledge from different cultures and stuff like that in tribes and then use it for its own good. Or it could have actually had a sense of enlightenment because certain Masons had a sense of enlightenment. They were trying to make it like all Masons was flunked out. I ain't gonna say most of them wasn't. But there really was some that had their own sense of spirituality that they might have pulled from certain things, extracted certain concepts and stuff and ideas, but some of them had a sense of enlightenment and learned enough to know, okay, I may have to learn this, but now I know how to actually go within for my own stuff. And they started creating their own, pushing out their own thoughts and feelings about what they was trying to create, or their own traditions and cultures of what they did that actually ended up working for them. So don't let everybody get you flunked. But when you talk about kung fu and all that stuff like that stuff was created by somebody. And listen, the overall spirit of Asia is old as hell. Look y'all talking about. That's an old ass spirit. That ain't no yesterday ass spirit. That spirit old as hell. I don't care if it was native or whatever. That the spirit of Asia though, like I said, I'm not saying they didn't take something from natives. I ain't saying they didn't take none of that stuff. But believe there's a natives on every land. America wasn't the only natives. That's another thing people try to say. America was not the only natives. There was natives in other places too. Some did different things. Some did very similar things. Some had similar viewpoints of life and different practices. Okay, cool. But they weren't the only first natives. Was not the only natives was not the only ones that's on America. Basically, what I'm saying. So, but I'm gonna end this out. But basically, what I'm saying is all the practices, thought forms, ideas, practices, rituals, cultures that you see in Asia, the overall oversoul of Asia, These are the things that it did. These are the things that it did to extend to where it is. This like the beings and cells inside of you. The stuff that you do that make you feel comfortable, whether it's good or bad, that's the stuff that you do. Your blood cells do the same thing. Your bloods literally mimic you. Just like when they said in that sequence video about um you're not gonna catch a thought that's outside of the being that you in unless you're not from here and you from another star seed. So if you like you in this earth, Gaia, Taurus, whatever, right? Like in this particular space, if you see people acting dumb, if you be like, man, humanity's so dumb, humanity dumb, these people are so stupid, why are people so sheep? That's letting you know that the being that we live inside of is that carries those same traits out. Because I just explained to you about blood cells and how that works. That means that the being that we in do those same traits, higher from a higher level to a lower level, and it's in a higher reality. So we'll probably do it in a higher level. And we're not looking at it as right or wrong, but so if you're looking at people like, man, these people are sheep. These people, all they do is follow. Don't nobody know how to create their own. People just dumb, just go with the flow. It's stupid. They not taking the time to do this, do that. Nobody want to build it. That's when you know the being that we live in this world, this actual being that we live inside is a blood cell within it. It's doing the exact same. It does the exact same thing, and even on an even higher level. For us to even be in a situation of us being blood cells inside of it carrying that out. It did that first. See what I'm saying? That's the energy I'm talking about. So when you look at Asia specifically, if you see beings doing a lot of things with different meditations, crossing legs, yogas, mudras, tai chis, qigongs, qigong, feng shui, all this started. There was an older person that did this first. There was the first person to do feng shui before anybody else did it. There, or at least the first group of people. There was a first group of people that did kung fu. The first person that, and I say it was the first person, because somebody had to have an idea to pass it down. Everybody didn't just start doing stuff at one time, because we all individuals. Now I could have got that idea first, and y'all could have been soul group. We could have been from the same spirit, so we been off the same cloth anyway. So we'd have eventually had the same idea. But I could have had the idea first and say, y'all look, we could do this together. And since you resonate with me on the same frequency and vibration, you do it and adapt it as yours, because that would make you feel comfortable too. You'd be like, I play it almost like a little ancestor to you. You see what I'm saying? Like, oh shoot, I can do this now. I can do what's the name now. You see what I'm saying? That's how stuff play out. But there was the first person that did the energy of yoga first. There was the first person that did the energy of qigong first, tai chi first, yoga, mudras, feng shui, tai chi's, all that. You see what I'm saying? Karate, kung fu, all that. So that's kind of like understanding oversoul energy. But I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna read y'all real quick before I look at my phone. Hot, you know, I got after that phone. Gotta get right. Let me hurry up. Let me hurry up. Let me hurry up. Hyper art, fascia training. Check it out. Yeah. That's good stuff. I know that that's good for blood flow too, and moving energies and stuck energy. Yeah, qigong is your energetic body. Yeah, facts. Facts, because it's the physical is the lowest dense. Then you got the energetic body, which is still got a certain level of density in it. And then that energetic body is also linked kind of into the I'm not sure if it's the chakra body that's right after the energetic body, because it's a little bit less dense, or if the energetic body might be actually the chakra system itself. I think that's the case too, because then the soul itself is actually before even the chakras, because your soul just resonates with energy. But the solar system, aka that's why they call it your solar system, your chakra system, was birthed out of the soul. So your soul and how it resonated created its chakras based upon its level of, how it's resonating and all that stuff like that. And then after the soul is just a spirit, but really the soul is a spirit, it's just your individual spirit, because your overall spirit, aka your higher self, means multiple. Spirit means multiple. That's why they could come from spirit family, spirit groups, soul groups. But you as an individual spirit, you're a soul. That's why they call it solo. You're a solo individual spirit. You're a soul, a solo spirit. You see what I'm saying? Not a spirit as in spiral, spiri, multiple. You see what I'm saying? You're a soul, a line of event. You see what I'm saying? You become an individual. So solo means one. You see what I'm saying? So you're one spirit, and then you getting bigger and building your spirit big enough to become an actual higher vessel and be in that actual spiritual realm. Blah 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 blah. Y'all know the rest. Let me finish reading before the physical. Yeah. Hell no. Gen Z eating habits are cooked. Yeah, facts. It is the last layer of chi. First layer is your mental, energetic body. Natives critic. I would actually say first would be like your state of being, your soul first, because your mind get created out of your spirit, out of your soul, out of your individual soul. I mean, out of your individual spirit, which is your soul. I would actually say your soul first, because without resonating, you wouldn't have came down to feel nothing to get born to be even aware of creating a mind. You see what I'm saying? So like I would say soul would be first though. Your first layer ain't necessarily a mental. But I mean everybody believe their own stuff. I mean these things are intercorrelated in many different ways. But I would definitely say your first thing was your soul first. Cause your soul is just your vibe, period. That's you without a thought. That's you within. That's like your meditate. Think of a meditative space. That's just you, period. Without a thought, without a feeling, none of that stuff. You are the vibe. There is no thought and feeling externally. You already are a feeling. You already are a thought. So you just going along by this natural vibration. No influences, no external nothing. You just being your true self. No interrupters. That's like your soul. That's your true state of being. That's you. And then once you started creating a mind, you first created your first mind that was first resonated with you best, and that probably was pleasant. And then once you started living different realities, you got intermingled with other spirits that wasn't really you. Then you started getting lost, picking up, and that the good stuff was a sense of expansion. You learned from those things, but you kind of got lost. We all got lost because it's like you got to think. I'm intermingling with this spirit. I'm intermingling with you. That spirit, that spirit. All y'all not necessarily my soul group, my spirit group. So I'm learning. I'm accumulating. I'm getting bigger. You know what I'm saying? I'm absorbing, but at the same time, I'm also absorbing good stuff, but also BS too, which is also tainting my waters. So my water is not clear anymore. First I was clear. It was the purest version of me, my true spirit, my true state of being. The more I accumulate, I'm accumulating all this other stuff, but I'm getting different water. I'm getting murky, a little bit of murky water. I'm getting a little bit of Coke over there. I'm gonna take a little bit of Sprite over here. I'm getting a little bit of salty waters. I done went to the beach. I done picked up some of that sand water. I done went to the rivers. I done get some of those pristine waters. Those are good waters. I done went here up here and got this foggy water. I got all kind of stuff to the point where this is why you end up not being yourself when we end up getting lost and have to find ourselves back again. But with that being said, man, I'm gonna get up out of here, man. We talking good knowledge, man. We 32 minutes in. Much love to y'all. You said this lastly at Chi. Natives created the concept. I was talking about Chi. Now I know what you mean. Everybody got their own concept of it. It's truth to all these things. They say natives create the concept. Um, I mean, natives was the first to be on any land. Like I say, a lot of people look at natives as Native Americans, but natives was the first to be on any land. If you was the first to be on any land, you was a native. I don't care if you was a native in Asia, if you was a native in Arkansas, if you was a native in Alaska, you was a native. They was the first there. So what you was doing might have been more advanced internally because you was more closer to your internal. So yeah, they probably did create the concept and stuff like that. But don't get lost into thinking it was all this Native American. That's kind of cap too. Because people listen to Uriel. No offense to Uriel, but I know I'm gonna say it because I know you are. And I believe a lot of stuff too. Don't get it twisted, but I also understand a lot of people don't have their own mind. I'm not saying you don't, because I've been there before. But a lot of people, they hear what you say and they just run everything and they don't know what's actually going on. It's a certain agenda he's trying to push out on purpose. Yeah, he's saying good truths. Yeah, that's true. But just be aware, he's also pushing out certain narratives and purposes at the moment, because he's fighting governmental wars at the moment. This is why he's not as spiritual as he used to be anymore, because he's not trying to help y'all no more. He on his own different fight that y'all are not really aware of. But I be seeing it when I be in this spiritual realm floating around. I be seeing different things. I be seeing all kind of things, man. I be aware, man. And I be telling certain people that I feel like be spiritually inclined, but then they look at me stupid like I don't know what I'm talking about. But then you see the situation actually unfold before our very eyes, and they be like, oh yeah, I heard, yeah, I heard too. You see what I'm saying? But much love to all y'all, and that ain't towards you, Miss Richard. I'm just talking about people that I done talked to before. Cause people, you know how people be, man. Especially when they talk about the subconscious community. I love it now. I love it to death, but at the same time, sometimes them people, they don't know how to show love for real. You know what I mean? But with that being said, man, I'm gonna let y'all go, man. Y'all take it easy, man. Much love.